It's that time again. The season is now ending and we're moving on to season 3. And now we're going to talk about what we think about it so far. What's good, everybody? I'm the Rage With God, back again with another season review video. You guys already know how we do this, so let's just begin. Firstly, we're talking on the Battle Pass skins. Firstly, we got Cassidy Quinn. Cassidy Quinn is the first skin you guys get as soon as you buy the Battle Pass. Her entire set, I think, was done really well. If I'm being honest, I think I prefer the glider more just because I use it with the Mysterio the most. That's just how it is with me with some of these Battle Pass skins. I'll just use more of their cosmetics, rather than the skin itself, unless it's a collab I like usually. But yeah, her glider, I think, is one of the best parts. A lot of this stuff could have been done better, but I think she's done well. I see enough people using her. Next up is Joss. I saw a lot of people somewhat mix on her, surprisingly enough. With Joss, although you can, remove, the cell shading on her and all that stuff, I did see some people not liking her at first, but I think a lot more people have grown to like her a little bit more. I like the little cone on her head. It adds a little bit of personality to her. But yeah, I think she's done well. For me, at least, when it comes to these cell shade skins, I don't mind them as long as they usually got, an edit cell to turn off the cell shading on them if you want. There are some exceptions, of course, such as, anime skins, where they actually come from an anime or whatever. Joss here has to be one of the better Battle Pass skins, in my opinion. Next up is the big bad of the season, Fletcher Kane, who, of course, like I said, he's the big bad of this entire season, the big dog. This guy, I feel like, could have been tier 100. I think he's got it in him to be tier 100, but no, they decided to make him, one of the mid skins in the Battle Pass, well, middle skins. I'm not saying he's mid, at least. I think he's done really well. His emote, I think, is great. You got a wolf and all that stuff. I actually do love some of these dog skins whenever they're done well. They always do the cat skins better, but this guy, I actually really like him. Next up is Valentina, which I saw a lot of people, even though she's a girl skin, a lot of people like those skins. I saw a lot of people kind of mix on her being when the image for the Battle Pass skins was revealed by Epic in the beginning, the ending of last season. I saw a lot of people that were kind of like, she's kind of mid, I don't think she's too special and all that stuff. I think she's grown on a lot more people ever since they started using her. Her emote is great. She's got a lot of edit styles. She's one of the skins that can have a super level edit style, which I always do like whenever these skins have that. I'm not sure why they, besides collabs, I'm not sure why they don't make it to where other Battle Pass skins, have these super level edit styles. They always just choose 5 and then that's it. It's kind of weird if you ask me, but Valentina, great. Next up is the meme skin, Big Dill, who I believe in the little cutscene, little beginning season trailer, I should say, I believe he is voiced by a rapper, I believe, if I'm correct. I know he's got, beef with T-Pain and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. I like the idea of this guy, just some pickle rapper guy. I think he's kind of hilarious. And the question that I've been asking myself, you guys can see the image on screen. Why is my man fucking mewing? Why is he he's doing them looks maxing shits or something like that? I think it's kind of funny. Epic knew what they were doing with this guy. But Big Dill, I think he's got a good voice. His set, I think, is pretty alright. I wish he could have had a concho. I find it interesting that his emote is literally based off of an old meme, the whole deal with it meme. As to why they chose that for this guy, I don't know. But it is, I don't know. I think this guy is one of the better Battle Pass meme skins, if you ask me. We got now Keisha Cross. I see a lot of people liking her. I actually really like her back bling and pickaxe because it's literally just like this little doll thing. I wish it wasn't a Cuddle Team leader, but maybe that makes it better. But her emote is great. She doesn't have too much in her set, like a glider or a contrail for whatever reason, but she does have, a bunch of sprays, an emoji, 2 loading screens. She does have her own wrap, but I wish she could have had a little bit more in her set. She does have a good amount of edit styles, and she can be used as one of the super level edit styles if you want. I remember when people first saw her, people were thinking she kind of was reminiscent of Jules, which, yeah, she ain't Jules, of course, but she still looks really cool regardless. Last but not least, my favorite personally, Sub-Zero, who is the tier 100 skin and part of the Mortal Kombat collab, which I know has been kind of long overdue. But that's its own thing I could probably get into later. Sub-Zero, I believe he actually has a leaked contrail that for whatever reason wasn't sold in the Battle Pass or in the item shop at all. He comes with 2 gliders, one being a Frozen themed one, another one being a Fire themed one, and 2 pickaxes that are both like just some battle axes and another axe. I'm not sure why he has 2, but regardless, I think my man's was done well. And I myself was happy to see this guy in the Battle Pass just because, like I said, like it's been so long since we've heard about having a Mortal Kombat collab, and now here it is. And I don't think it was the worst. At least that's just me. Now for the secret skin, Outlaw Midas, who I think this is probably one of the more favorite skins in the entire Battle Pass. He's still got the golden touch like the other Midas skins, which I know a lot of other people appreciate. To get this guy, just like Godzilla from last season, you actually had to level up a certain amount of times to be able to get everything in a set. It wasn't like challenges that you had to do, which I'm really curious about. Like, what do you guys think about that? I kind of prefer the challenges because you can at least get it all done in one day, but maybe that's the reason as to why Epic makes it to where you gotta get levels and all that stuff. You have to continuously play to get this done, rather than just being able to do it all in one day and then just already get his entire set. My man also has that fucking Kato Thorn kind of hair. As to why he's back, I haven't been keeping up with too much of the storyline. I believe he is an old friend, or his old friend is Fletcher Kane and all that stuff. But I'm curious about, storyline-wise, is Midas going to kind of, play a more significant role, next season or the season after that? Or is he just going to take a hiatus again, kind of like how he did last year? Overall, still great skin. Glad to have him. That's it for the Battle Pass skins. Now on to the weapons, and with this season, we had a lot of them. I'm gonna see how fast I can get through all of these. Firstly, the collateral damage assault rifle. Alright, pretty okay. Baron's double down pistol, which is basically, like the mammoth pistol, but it has 2 shots in there. Pretty strong if you know how to aim. The pump and dump, this one is actually pretty interesting because we've had dual wielding weapons before, like, the SMGs and the pistols. This one on your right hand was the shotgun, while on the left hand was an SMG. You weren't able to aim down sights and they didn't shoot at the same time. For me, I'm on the PS5. R2 would be to shoot the shotgun, while L2 would be to shoot the SMG, but you are able to shoot them both at the same time. If one of the magazines of them kind of run out, then you then have to reload that one specific weapon. It doesn't make you reload both of the weapons unless you want to. Is this overpowered in comp? From what I've been told, not really. I don't think a lot of people use it. I could be wrong on that. But I would have thought this would have been a little bit more OP. The Plasma Burst Laser. An interesting thing about this, as you hold down the button and shoot, every once in a while you'll see an explosion in there. This thing is really good for opening vaults, which is something I could talk on a little bit later if I feel like it. Falcon Eye Sniper has 3 shots. I don't use snipers very much, so I don't know. The Kneecapper is one of the melee weapons of this season, a non-copyrighted one. This thing, you're able to run really fast. You're able to swing the bat and launch people flying. Last season we had the Typhoon Blade and it was pretty OP. This one I don't think it was. I think mostly people just used it for mobility than they did as an attack. So it's pretty okay in my book. Thermite, this being the thing that you would use to open vaults, but you can have it, use it as a weapon if you want to and all that. Kind of does damage around the surrounding area, then explodes at the end. But I don't see a lot of people using it in that sense, mostly just for opening vaults. Don't really know what else to say on it besides it's okay just for opening a vault, but that's about it. Now we got the Sub-Zero's Combat Kit, which is of course a part of the collab with Mortal Kombat. Sub-Zero's Combat Kit, when equipped in your hands, you can actually walk and run over water. Not every surface and all that stuff, mostly rivers and all that stuff. I tried walking over water where the bridge was and all that stuff in Seaport City, and it didn't let me walk over the water there. So it has to be pretty shallow. This thing right here just has a normal attack. It has a little attack that lets you get up close and personal. You can also save you from fall damage if used correctly. An important thing about this thing that I didn't mention with the Kneecapper, both of these things have durability, which I know a lot of people are kind of mixed on when it comes to melee weapons. I think it's okay because it at least makes more people, I guess, you know, have to be a little bit more strategic and careful with how they use the weapon. So that way, like, they're not just spamming it, which I know is a problem with melee weapons that people have been having. So this, I guess, kind of fixes it. These ones, I don't really know what to think on them because I haven't used them. The Porta cover, haven't really used too much. The pulse scanner, I don't know. The mist smoke grenade, I think a lot of people prefer this over the med mist, but I did ask somebody and they kind of prefer the med mist over this. This is because, yeah, I guess you can move rather than staying in one place and healing yourself. But, what do you guys prefer? You guys heard of chug splashes or slap splashes, right? Well, this time we actually got gold splashes, where whenever you actually throw them down, pretty much, you would actually get, like, this little gold rush effect that would make you move faster. You could swing your pickaxe a lot faster. There are also rivers around the map that let you do this, too. This, of course, would heal you. It is a heal. I think a lot of people like this a lot better than they do the slap splash, but that doesn't make them any bad though. The gold splash, really good. Now we got 3 medallions I want to talk on here: the Unstoppable Medallion, the Super Shield Medallion, and the Scorpion Medallion. The Unstoppable Medallion, this is from Fletcher Kane, which you can actually just kill him wherever he is on the map. Once you get it, you can then pretty much run really fast and actually charge at people while sprinting. Very similar to the to that one Megalodon medallion, except this one is just a weaker version of it. The Super Shield Medallion you actually get from Shogun X, and what it does is whenever you're healing yourself, it will then make a shield bubble around yourself for the duration that you're healing. However, it does have its problems, such as you can just walk out of the shield bubble. It's not always there. Sometimes, like, I'm using, like, the chug jug to heal myself, and then it just disappears as I'm healing. Maybe there's something I'm missing, but it's kind of weird. Then we have the Scorpion Medallion, which the first weapon out of your magazine does a lot of damage. And it also leaves an explosion too, but it's only for whenever you actually hit someone. Out of all the medallions, I think the Scorpion one was the best one. Speaking of, I actually will talk on his weapon right here. The Scorpion Combat Kit. We have the Sub-Zero one, this one is the Scorpion one. We have 2 versions. One that actually has durability and is an epic rarity, and another one, there's only one, that you can actually get from the Scorpion boss that has infinite durability. It's slightly stronger than the epic rarity one. And this one right here, like I said, you gotta fight a Scorpion for it. Scorpion's powers right here, you can actually just punch and, you know, it's got, like, you know, fiery attacks. And unlike Sub-Zero's thing, the big difference between his Mythic and Scorpion's is that this one actually has an option to throw the spear and basically pull an enemy towards you. So the thing I can kind of compare this to is the Chains of Hades. But this thing right here, I think a lot more people prefer the Sub-Zero one rather than this one because, you know, pulling an enemy towards you and all that stuff, there is like a bit of a second delay. Then they do the get over here thing, which I do like the sound, the get over here. But this thing is, if you know how to use it, it might be pretty good. If not, then it's probably not very good. But I like it though. Now we're going to talk on the boons right here. Vulture boon, Gold Rush boon, Adrenaline Rush boon, Gold Ammo boon, and the Greed boon. Last season we had some different ones. This one we got entirely new ones. No, the other ones didn't carry over to this season. The Vulture boon, I think whenever somebody dies, you can actually see where they died. The Adrenaline Rush boon, similar to the Adrenaline one, Augment, that was back in Chapter 4. If you like Mantle, or vault or over something, you actually get a slap effect that lets you have your stamina up for a little bit longer. The rest of these I don't remember. The Gold Rush boon, Gold Ammo boon, Greed boon. One of these actually let you like get ammo as you collect gold, or whenever you collect ammo or search a crate or something like that, it lets you get gold right there. Getting gold this season is kind of easy. We also got an interesting item right here they can get from vaults, the Dill Bit, which is basically a cryptocurrency by Big Dill, which are kind of important because then you can actually buy stuff from the black market, whether it be mythics or exotics. We do have a lot of new exotics though, but the Dill Bit, I find this to be kind of funny though. A meme coin, I guess a parody of like a meme coin, is actually an important part of this season. I like the idea of this though. I wish Epic could do more stuff like this, and I believe Big Dill almost lets out that it is a scam when you talk to his NPC. This one isn't a weapon, but I think it's worth mentioning here. The Armored Truck, which you can actually see NPCs driving, and it acts as like I guess a moving vault. It doesn't have as good of weapons as the main vaults and the POIs, But with that said, it does have some cool stuff in there that you could probably get. The black market is where you can actually spend a lot of gold or your big dill bits right there to actually get the exotics or mythics. Now we're gonna talk on those exotics and mythics, and there is a lot. Enhanced Outlaw Shotgun, Midas's Gilded Eye Drum Gun, Lawless Trinity Assault Rifle, Lawless Blink Pump and Dumb, Lawless Heavy Impact Tracking Rifle, Lawless Stink Rifle, Lawless Shockwave Rocket Launcher, Lawless Slap Cannon, and a bunch of unvaulted stuff like the Brutus Minigun, Lawless Accelerant Hollow Twister AR, Lawless Twin Fire Slap Shotgun, Lawless Explosive Mammoth Pistol, Lawless Rift Launcher, and the Lawless Slap Jug right here. Some of this stuff is involved, like the Brutus minigun. Some of this other stuff is, new and all that. I'm not gonna go over all of these, though, because I already did it with the other weapons. But a lot of these exotics, I actually really like them. Something I do want to talk on. Lawless Slap Cannon, for whatever reason, that one actually has durability, which I know people are okay with durability on melee weapons, but I just saw most people agree that the Slap Cannon should not have had durability. Overall, the weapons, ever since we got the exotics, I thought at first I thought the weapons were pretty okay. They were kind of mid. Some of them were interesting, like the Kneecapper and the Pump and Dump, the Sub-Zero's Combat Kit. But then when we got all of these exotics and returning mythics, that made the loot pool a lot better. I do really like the Rift Launcher, which I think I saw somebody make a joke saying that after a certain amount of seasons, Jones finally found his Rift gun. It's more of like it kind of acts. It's the weapon is actually a sticky grenade launcher model, but it shoots out the rifts and all that stuff, which I like the idea of that. No, I'm not showing all these weapons on screen though because there's so many. The weapons this season, great. I thought they were actually kind of fun once they actually introduced a lot of these exotics. I like the idea of them, and to keep in mind, all of this stuff is in creative right now. Pretty neat if you ask me. Now we're talking on the map this season. And when it comes to the map, I wouldn't say there is as many changes, a fucking new chapter or anything like that. But with that said, that doesn't mean we didn't get any changes. We got Lone Wolf Lair, which is just outside the main area that actually got all the changes. Shiny Shafts, Outlaw Oasis, and Crime City. In Lone Wolf Lair, Crime City, and in Mass Meadows, they all have an area that has a vault, which you already know you can get a lot of cool stuff out of the vaults, of course. But the map itself, I don't think is the worst. I have seen some complaints that, we didn't get that many changes to the map or something like that. Feel however you want about it, I guess. Something I do want to mention, I saw somebody point this out online. Something about how with next season, most likely what's going to happen is, they're going to remove a lot of the, the main features of this season, which are, the vaults and all that stuff. Something I saw some people complaining about is that with next season, they're probably going to remove one of the biggest features of the season, that being the vaults and all that. Which I have seen a lot of mixed reactions. Should we still keep the vaults here for next season, or do you guys think that vaults should be removed? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, the map so far hasn't had the most changes ever, but I think that's okay. The content of the season is good. I think that's good enough for me. But the map itself, I think is great. A few other things that also happened this season that I think are worth talking on. Clix this season actually got an icon skin. You guys already know Clix, he's considered one of the best players in the world and all that stuff. He recently got a skin. We got the Clix skin, and we also got the Spark skin. So 2 skins, one of them not even being of Clix, but being of rather his main. Which, congrats to Clix. I have seen some people mixed on this because Clix is considered kind of toxic. I did see the other side of how a lot of people are happy about the fact that Fortnite competitive is actually getting some love. I think the last competitive person, that's mainly known for competitive, I'm not counting Nick 830, we actually got was Booga, the guy who won the Fortnite World Cup back in 2019. But yeah, Clix, I guess, congrats to him. Pretty good skin. I have to wonder this question because I don't see anybody asking this to Clix directly. Not that I think he'll watch this. Why isn't his stuff updated for LEGO? Does he not want to be updated for LEGO? Or he could, but LEGO said no. That's what I want to know. Was he that toxic? Is Clix so toxic to where and even LEGO didn't want to get him in there? That's what I want to know. Or was his stuff really that weird to, like, not be able to update? That's what I'm curious on. And on the topic of Clix, as of me recording this as of right now, it was leaked that he's going to be getting another skin. He's getting an FNCS themed skin, which, who would have thought it? He already just got a skin and it hasn't even been a year, and yet they're already making another one. If they're gonna make him an FNCS skin, how come we haven't gotten one for Booga yet? We got one for the FFC, Graph G, we got that before, but not anything else for Booga, or for relating to, the FNCS, although I'm pretty sure he plays still. Just something to think on. One of the biggest things that's happened this season when it comes to collabs is actually Mortal Kombat. Why is this a big deal? In Chapter 2, Season 5, we had a collab with Street Fighter. I believe it was leaked during that time that we were going to be originally getting a Mortal Kombat collab. But keep in mind, this was Donald's era of Fortnite. So there might have been some legal things as to what was going on as to why we didn't get Mortal Kombat. But here it is now. I have heard people say that, it was replaced with Street Fighter. Could be true, could be false, but here's what I was actually thinking of. I was thinking that a big reason as to why we didn't get Mortal Kombat in the game was probably because, the dudes behind Mortal Kombat, they probably wanted, the cosmetics to be probably more gruesome, maybe like a pickaxe was like a blood trail or blood impact, or something like that. Brutal emotes where you're just exploding somebody's head or something like that. But with the cosmetics here that we actually got, it doesn't seem that bad though. Maybe you can make an argument for the Sub-Zero Frozen Skeleton backbling, but besides that, I don't think this collab was as bad as a lot of people were probably thinking it would be, back in Chapter 2, Season 5. But, so what I think of the collab so far, now that we finally have it, I have seen a lot of people saying that this collab was disappointing. Is it disappointing? I definitely think a lot more people were hyped for it, only for it to just be, not everything that it was probably cracked up to be. With the new Mortal Kombat skins that were coming to the game, I think it was said that, people were thinking that we were going to be getting an LTM with a bunch of Mortal Kombat mythics with all, all the powers relating to the skins or something like that, but, that didn't happen, but in the little trailer that they showed us kind of made it seem like that's what was going to happen. So I think that's one of the biggest things that left a sour taste in people's mouth about the whole Mortal Kombat collab. I still think the skins are well done. I have seen some complaints about, Katana being censored. All the skins are based on Mortal Kombat 3. Katana being censored, I heard so many people say that that's not even Katana anymore. But what do you guys think in the comments? Mortal Kombat so far, I think is okay, but definitely failed to meet a lot of people's expectations. Early April, we also got a new interesting update, that being the new festival skin coming to the game, and in the new festival season, you guys already know. Who is the festival skin this time around? Sabrina Carpenter. Last time it was Miku, this time it's Sabrina, which we knew we were going to be getting, I'd say a little bit more than a month in advance. Then we had some teasers leading up to the whole Sabrina being a skin. So many people really didn't like this though, and when I actually asked around, why don't people like the fact that Sabrina is going to be a skin? I've been told a lot of the same things, how the Juno poses, or how she's sexual or whatever, that shouldn't be in a kid's game or something like that. I do have to ask this though, if this is apparently a kid's game, why are there songs about, a lot of mature, about mature themes and all that stuff? Some of the songs, they'll say words like sexy, and maybe some kind of curse in Fortnite Festival. We got Mortal Kombat, we got Doom, we got Kratos, who has a backbling that's literally a head, and yet, a girl with Sabrina, her coming to the game, yeah, that's a bad thing. You want to make an argument for the Juno poses or whatever? Okay, but Sabrina being a skin, I don't think, as far as I'm concerned, she isn't like a bad person per se. So to say that she shouldn't be a skin, I don't know. And you know what's funny, actually? I believe when Carol G was going to be the festival skin, I saw somebody and a lot of other people saying that it should have been Sabrina Carpenter to be the festival skin. And now that she is the festival skin, all those people who said they wanted her to be a skin, they are nowhere to be found now. They just kind of disappeared, vanished off the map. Where are those people when Sabrina is now finally coming to the game? I feel like this whole hate for, the next festival skins this or whatever, It probably has to do with the fact that with Miku, she was released in January. I believe originally it was going to be a collab with New Jeans instead, but because of the whole legal stuff that happened with that, they replaced it with Miku, which probably would have been the festival skin after. So I think that's a big reason as to why people hate Miku, and then why a lot of people probably also hate Sabrina also. But what do you guys think of this? Sabrina herself, yeah, I think she's done well. Both the skins, she's done really well. Another big collab that I think is worth mentioning, I mentioned Mortal Kombat, we got Sabrina. Now we got a big collab, to me at least, Adventure Time. In December of 2024, they finally started collabing with, Warner Brothers IPs again. They brought back stuff like, some of the DC skins, the Rick and Morty skins. Now they're actually going a little bit more into what they have. This time around, it was Adventure Time, which is a little bit more of a kid-friendlier collab. But in the recent shows like Adventure Time, Fiona and Cake, they have more mature themes now. Out of all the collabs, this was one, I feel like, this is another one that I'm going to say. I said this before with a lot of other collabs, but I'll say it again here. This is one of those collabs that I don't think anybody was really expecting to come to Fortnite. Some people are asking, why? Why this? I personally like it. I think the skins were done well. However, there is one big problem with it. To get all 4 skins, you basically need to spend 3,800 V-Bucks to get the bundle. Okay, fine. But to get the rest of the stuff like the Jake glider, the emotes, the other back blings, all of that, there was no gear bundle for that second part of the stuff, like a gear bundle or anything like that. To get all of that stuff, you had to buy it all separately. And this has a lot of people talking on, does Epic just not believe in gear bundles anymore? If you ask me, I like to think, yeah, probably. They don't, when it comes to a big collab like that, they have so many cosmetics, yeah, they're most likely not going to release a gear bundle. I think the last one that we had was one of with those Adidas girl skins that we got last year. But this also has people asking, what other kind of collabs can we get? If we could get Adventure Time, what else could we get? I saw somebody say regular show, a bunch of other shows. You guys can probably, come up with them yourself in the comments. Adventure Time, great big collab, but I definitely think that it should have had a gear bundle. It could have been handled a little bit better, but the cosmetics were done okay. I can't believe I almost forgot to talk on this. Earlier this season, in March 25th, so we had this entire, Chapter 6 Season 2 season. Now we actually have Fortnite OG Season 3. Fortnite OG Season 3, of course, it's Season 3. It's not the most special thing. It does actually bring back the guided missile. It brought back 50v50, which has a lot of people talking also. The fact that they actually brought back 50v50 after all these years. And also earlier this season, they actually had brought back the getaway LTM. So this has some people wondering, are we going to be seeing LTMs appear more again? I also did see some discourse about Season 3 in general. An interesting thing, I'm not going to talk too much on the season itself. However, I do think it was alright, but if you already played the original Season 3, you kind of know what this is like. But the season itself, pretty much, it's not the most interesting. And the reason I say that is actually because in Season 2, it was leading up to Season 3. And from what I saw, a lot of people were not really that excited about Season 3. And even though it's out now, I don't see that many people enjoying Season 3. I'm not saying that they hate it, but I'm pretty sure that the reason for this, it is because people are actually now realizing that Chapter 1, Seasons 1, 2, and 3 aren't all that they were cracked up to be. They're kind of just the very bare bones Fortnite. So of course it didn't have as much content or map changes compared to a lot of other stuff that was in the past or in the future Fortnite seasons, I should say. The good news is, because this is Season 3, after this, at least in my opinion, Season 4, that's when the game really started to pick up. So I think that's when a lot more people are going to be excited for the next season, the next battle pass for OG. Still find it kind of crazy that we have a permanent OG mode. So to summarize everything I just talked on, the battle pass, I think, was pretty good. The weapons, for me, it wasn't as good until, we started getting some of these unique exotic mythics with the black market. The map didn't have many changes, but that's okay. We got a lot of cool collabs this season also, but a lot of controversy with some of them. And also, I should also mention this a little bit, that next season is going to be a Star Wars season. Yeah, we had a little cinematic thing that you can do. Not necessarily like a live event, but it does seem like this is leading to a Star Wars season. We got a trailer out and everything. So what do I think of Chapter 6 Season 2 as a whole? I've been seeing videos kind of talk on this whole season about how it's just an epic kind of rinsing and repeating a similar theme. You know, we had the Chapter 2 Season 2 theme, you know, the spy theme. Chapter 4 Season 4, we had the heist theme. A lot of this stuff is relating to breaking into a vault and just getting some of the best weapons on the island. I even also saw people pointing out how in the beginning half of this season, we got so much content, and then on the second half, they just kind of stopped. So I think this season was good when it started. On the second half, it could have been a little bit better. But maybe, I'm not sure what happened right there with the momentum, with the updates and all that stuff. But I still think this season was good regardless. I think I might have liked last season a little bit better though, Chapter 6 Season 1. Yeah, I'll have to think on it a little bit more though. That's kind of everything here though. What do you guys think of my thoughts on this whole season? What are your guys' thoughts on this whole season? Hopefully you guys enjoyed though. If you did, let me know with a like, comment down below your thoughts. If you'd like to support me in the Fortnite item shop, my code is RageQuitGod. And I'll see y'all next season.